Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Dr. Vidhima. I hold an MSc in gastroenterology, a master's degree in medicine and an MBBS. But before that, I was a young student who used to struggle with a huge medical syllabus along with some health problems of my own. And today, having gone through a very painful and difficult journey, I realized that I have some important techniques and strategies which I learned along the way and which I would like to share with you. Now, I have read hundreds of books on exam techniques and study tips and spoken with a large number of study tutors, and I've realized that there are some techniques and strategies which work extremely well. Unfortunately, very few students and young doctors know about them. So in this video, that is what I'd like to share with you. And please do stay until the end of the video because I have a special gift for you. Right? So, the first mistake that medical students and doctors make, and this holds whether you are doing MBBS or studying homeopathy or veterinary science or Ayurveda, right? This is valid whether you are starting off on your medical journey or you are an early year postgraduate or a young doctor looking to start your practice. So, what is the first technique that you should be aware of? Now, most doctors, actually I have seen, or medical students, highlight material, running through it as quickly as possible, and then hoping that they remember at least something. Now, I understand the medical course and syllabus is huge, but this is not the most effective way to learn. Is to plan to have a technique and a structure for your study at the beginning of the week. And that is why I am releasing this video on a Sunday night so that on Monday you can watch it and be ready for the next 1 week, as well as the weeks and months coming forward. So, always use a study planner when you are about to start studying for the week. Now you might ask, well, that's well and good, but how do I plan my studies? So the best way is a technique called the Pomodoro technique, and it works extremely well for many people. Now, what is the Pomodoro technique? Well, it simply means studying for a span of 20 to 25 minutes. That's a block of protected time for your studies, and then keeping aside 5 minutes after that to have a quick break. When you do this, the brain has time to rest in between your study blocks. Do remember that during your break, it is important not to get stuck in social media or to have long conversations. It's important to have either a glass of water or perhaps have a brisk walk. These are activities that refresh and energize your brain and have a huge impact on the quality of your study. Do remember that when you are taking the 25 minutes of study time, it means putting your phone away on silent, preferably out of sight. And nowadays, many of us are doing our studies on laptops. So please do keep all other tabs on your laptop closed and only that tab where your reading material or question bank is to keep that open. Now you might ask, why is that? Does it really hurt if after 10 minutes of studying, say, quite a dull topic such as clinical anatomy, if you just open up your email and read an email for a few seconds? Now, on paper, it doesn't look like as if it matters a great deal. However, studies have shown that even that few seconds of diversion from your study material can damage your overall concentration to such an extent that it can take up to 15 to 17 minutes for you to refocus fully on your studies. So that few seconds of social media checking or few seconds of email checking costs you a great deal. Now, what is the second technique, right? The second technique is called spaced recall. So, not merely rereading. So, it's not that rereading material does not have value, but what works better is that if you take a chapter, say for example, chronic kidney disease, and you read the chapter, an effective way to really consolidate it in your mind is to close the book, take 5 minutes rest if you want to, and then take a piece of paper, pink if you like, and write down a few points, whatever you remember. And it's important to remember you don't need to write full sentences. In fact, the brain remembers best when you write in keywords. And funnily enough, that's how you will be tested during the examinations. Multiple choice questions will test your understanding of keywords. Short notes and essays will have keywords in them which you will have to expand and write about. So this is a good technique. And sometimes you might not find that this topic is interesting enough for you. For example, when you sit down, not remember anything, and that's perfectly fine. All you need to do is go back and skim read just the key elements of the chapter. And if you're wondering how do you recognize what the key elements are, the key parts are, I will deal with that in another video, so don't worry about that. So you read, write down the key points that you remember, okay? Then you revisit the material after a few days and then after 1 week. It's important not to stress if you don't remember everything, even if you don't remember most of it. Because somewhere deep in your subconscious, whether you believe, we are blessed with a miraculous and marvelous mind, something that the traditional education system does not appreciate. Now, what is the final part? Right? So in my final part, I would say recommend don't make the mistake that I did. In medical school and even in my post-graduation, I used to prefer studying alone. And that cost me a lot in terms of depriving me of insights that I might have had from my colleagues, important discussions. I would have realized then that I was an auditory learner and that I learned best by speaking aloud and discussing with others. So if you can, find a group of committed colleagues or fellow students who can meet once a week and discuss the key elements of the syllabus or the key exam topics. It's important to remember to stay focused during these study sessions and not to get diverted by other activities. So it's really vital that you find study companions who are as committed and dedicated to your success as you are. And sometimes it might happen that you might not find anyone. And if that is the case, I'm here for that. So please follow and stay up to date either with the YouTube channel or the Instagram Reels, and there will be something really wonderful for you at least every week. So you don't have to feel alone. There is help and there is support for you, and you can excel and achieve your dreams. So, as promised, now that I've come to the end of the video, I have my very own study planner that I created. It's concise, neat, nice to look at, something you'd like to write in, and I'd like to give it to you for free. So when you click on the link that is beneath the video, it will lead you to an automatic download, and you can print out as many pages as you like. And I hope that it will really help you in your study planning. It has the elements that I described in today's video, the key point section, the Pomodoro technique section, and a special little section to keep you updated and to keep you encouraged to focus on your goals. That's the most important. Now, I have realized in life people fail not because they are not able, not because they are foolish, not because they are lazy, but because they lost sight of their vision. They lost sight of their goals and they gave up trying. Don't let that happen to you. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I have failed and failed and failed again, and I kept trying until I succeeded. In fact, I failed more than my other colleagues. But finally, what matters most is that you finish well. And I believe that if you are watching this video, you will be among those who finish well. Right? So that is all for today. I wish you a wonderful week ahead and I hope to hear from you. And please let me know in the comment section if there are other topics that you'd like me to take up, because it's not easy to find all the study advice in one video. I had to read many books and try out different things to see what worked. But if there is anything, do let me know and please comment below. What did you learn? How did it help you? Was there anything new at all? And if it did help you, would you consider sharing it with someone who you know is struggling with academics? We live in such a high performance world, pressure world with social media, that sometimes it's so easy to feel less than others. But you don't have to feel that way, because you are you. You have your own destiny, you have your own potential to fulfill, and in your own area of gifting, you were born to make a difference. And I'm here to help you fulfill and achieve your potential. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Ridhima, and take care.